Okay. Hello, guys. I'm working with my light here. So I don't know how many members will be able to jump on here. I just posted the link. So sorry. I've been trying to figure out, manage everything. Obviously, I'm wrapping up my trip. I just filmed a video about the Harry and Meghan reveal about New York City and everything, about the charity work and all that. So that was been quite interesting. And so it seems like everything Harry and Meghan do is just to promote themselves. So that is what we got here today. So hopefully you guys just caught on. I hope so. So check the link down below. It's an unlisted link. So hopefully only members can, well, I know only members can see it. So I hope you guys are able to catch on there soon. So sorry for the late delay. I should have done that before I jumped on to film the video. And yay, we have 2 people here. That's so awesome. Hello, every guys. 3. Yay. Okay. Yay, guys. I'm so excited you guys are here. So I am just wrapping up. I'm at a hotel once again. Tomorrow I'll be home with Pippa, which will be so exciting. But yeah, we got some interesting things with Harry and Meghan and the whole, how should we put it? The whole New York situation in 2021, where they did that weird pseudo tour of Manhattan, royal tour of Manhattan. As it turns out, that was entirely a self promotional effort and to make them look important when they're not. Nothing says and screams success like trying to make yourself look important. If you are important, you are important, not having other people tell you you are important. So we have 4 people on now. Yay. I can't see any comments yet. So if you guys have made comments, I'm so sorry. I can't see them. So hopefully this is all working properly. Yay, Tanya. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Brittany. Thank you. I'm glad you guys can see it. I was just worried there for a second because I was kind of like trying to rush because I have my flight. It's not super early tomorrow, but obviously you have to get to the airport kind of early. So yeah, so it's been a fun trip. Anxious to go home. I just thought I'd see if you guys had any questions as I kind of wrap up this trip. We'll probably keep this a little short because I do want to get that video edited and I want to get to bed at a somewhat reasonable time. So it'll definitely be a bit more of a raw video edit. But I just think it's rather interesting. If you guys haven't checked it out, the article in the Daily Mail. I can't believe they filed a Hi, Mama Otter. Oh my goodness. I hope my internet keeps on. I paid for the higher rate, so it should work. So, hey, Mama Otter. Hello, everyone. We got 7 people on. Yahoo! Okay. So I'm glad you guys were able to jump on. I know it was a little bit last minute. I was trying to just wander around Paris for a while. Becky says, sitting at my desk, just wanting to say a quick hi. Hi. I hope you guys enjoy these. I think these are so much fun. So I will just spitball if you guys don't have any particular questions. Yeah, Mama Otter, I froze a bit. The hotel internet, I paid for the higher speeds, but maybe, just maybe, it ain't working as well as I hoped it would. So yes, if you guys haven't checked out the Daily Mail article, maybe I'll pull it up here. It is quite the reveal, I think. And I think it goes to show too, it's a good idea probably not to take off the media. Probably a good idea because then they won't go searching for information on you. Tanya says, the irony is that Meghan told Oprah Winfrey the monarchy silenced her. Harry's on record calling our First Amendment bonkers. Yeah. And they want to silence people who don't like them. And, I get a lot of flack for that. And it's like, yes, sometimes perhaps people go a bit too hard. Again, I try to be judicious in my criticisms of them. I don't go down the surrogacy route or anything like that. But I feel like at the same time, Harry and Meghan just want to silence anybody who doesn't like them. And that's not how the real world works. That's not how the real world works. Meghan never had to deal with actual real celebrity and infamy until she married Harry or got into a relationship with him. Other than that, nobody cared to double check anything she said. Nobody cared enough to really investigate Meghan Markle. And now she's not reacting to this well. And the more they try to corral the media, the worse the media is going to get. And I think that's what we have evidence of here. All right, Dolores, hi. Lovely to be on First Members Live. You're the best on YouTube in this genre by far. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. I really try hard to work and give you guys the best things possible. When it's traveling, I always feel like it's a bit more challenging, but I try to push through. I actually recorded a video last night talking about the Swedish tiaras from last week, but I didn't get a chance to edit it yet. Just didn't get enough time. So we'll see when we get there. All right, smile, quick hello from my desk too. Hello. We also have Joanne. Hi at Brittany and everyone. Hello. And then we have Becky. Hi at Smile. And then we have Dolores. Hello from Ireland. I hope you're enjoying Ireland, Dolores. That sounds marvelous. That sounds marvelous. Like rolling green hills and the beauty of Ireland. I think I haven't been to Ireland. That's actually one of like the few big European places I haven't been to. I've been to most well-known places. So, and I've been to some off the beaten track, but I've been to most of them on the beaten track. So, but I hope you are having a fabulous time here. I'm going to pull up this Daily Mail article because I think it is interesting. So and I think that's probably the biggest thing we can talk about. I think right now, obviously the biggest news, obviously we did have Catherine as well today. She was at a center that helps children with special needs. And so she had her hair in a bun, which is like, I've never really seen your hair like that. Somebody mentioned that she had worn it like that to the premiere. There she is in the corner there, premiere to the James Bond film. So she's right there. But this is the first time we've seen her sort of in that. I've never seen her really wear anything close to that. And so this article starts out, files obtained by the Daily Mail via a Freedom of Information request showed how the Sussex's high-powered aides pulled strings behind the scenes to ensure that they were presented in a positive light during a series of public appearances that were filmed for their $100 million Netflix documentary. One of the things I asked in the video I recently filmed is what the heck happened with that content? I just find that so weird that they did this whole thing, whole kit and caboodle. And I guess they did this whole kit and caboodle. It's just literally sitting in a storehouse in the market. I mean, I realize that happens, but I feel like if you're going to do something so stinking publicly, you should use it because it looks bad when you don't use it. So real quick here, we also have Smile Chin saying, I changed my screen name here. I might change it back. Hey, no worries. Either way. Interesting. And then Dolores says, you have to come to Ireland, the land of 100,000 welcomes. We would love to have you here. Oh, I thank you. Oh, you must be from Ireland. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to go to Ireland. I just haven't had a chance to yet. They encouraged me to do one of the trips to Ireland, but the trip that they had available with the company I use did not have a lot of castles on that tour. It included like, not canoeing, but like kayaking in the ocean. No, that's not really where I want to go. So looking through this article, it says one of the stops in their 3-day tour was to this school, and they raised the idea, Harry and Meghan's staff, of bringing cushions and new curriculum areas to better fit Meghan's aesthetic. I'm like, oh, of course they did. Of course they did. Of course they had to fit her aesthetic. It's just ridiculous. And I kind of get it because you do want to have things look a certain way for camera and those sorts of things, but still comes across as somewhat weird. And again, it's a low-income community. Like, why? And you're inviting yourself. They didn't ask you for this. You're inviting yourself to promote your own book. And I love this too. So the emails from Archwell staff talking to the school they visit, they went through multiple edits of the press release to make the appearance sound more substantial, and even amended the public diary for top schools officials. So they had to make it look more substantial than it was, because it wasn't anything. It was literally Meghan going there to promote her own book and to promote herself and Harry. That's the sole reason they went. And they went into this low income school, and she's there in thousands of dollars worth of clothes and jewelry and everything. And she's wearing this huge coat and stuff for who knows? Nobody knows why. It's just So incredibly bizarre. Just so bizarre. Uh, it's so strange. I haven't had a chance to read through all the emails they got yet, but I just think it's hysterical. Again, that the relationship has devolved so badly that they're filing Freedom of Information Act requests is hysterical. It's hysterical. And so this is the other thing people are jumping on too is the email shows students and faculty at the Harlem Elementary School were even asked to sign consent forms for filming that also banned them from discussing the project or making negative remarks about the famous couple who were visiting. Okay, so two things here. Number one is not necessarily bad to prevent people from sharing what you're filming. I mean, a lot of film productions do that, documentaries, those sorts of things, because they're waiting for a release at some point. But the big thing here is that they wanted to avoid any negative marks about the couple. So the kids could not say that Harry and Meghan were crappy or that they didn't like them or that they didn't like this whole reading thing. They didn't understand why they were doing it. They prevented the kids, the families, and everything from sharing their actual thoughts. It's crazy to me. It is really quite crazy to see something like this, and it's just absolutely just insane, I think, and just shows how conceited Harry and Meghan are and how obsessed they are with their own public image, that they could not handle somebody not loving them and giving them all the praises that they think they're due. And I think the flip side on this too is that you haven't really even heard anything from the school because they can't really talk about it, and they can't talk unless they have something positive to say. So if they're not saying anything at all, that means they don't really have anything positive to say, I think. And so that is, yeah, very interesting. And then there were some other good bits here as well. And so I love, of course, that the Daily Mail has to go into. She arrived in a $5,000, almost $6,000 cashmere coat and $1,600 or $1,700 pair of pants. Oh, hold on. Continue reading. There we go. Okay. Wasn't sure. That's somewhat new. They have to go into how much jewelry she wore, which again, hysterical. Again, Harry and Meghan are asking for this. Smile says it's borderline theft. I mean, it kind of is. Like, I feel like they're stealing from children and stuff. And then Jenny says, hello from my desk in Iowa until my next meeting. I'll have to watch this in its entirety later. Yes, I hope you are able to. And let's get over here. So, because there was another interesting bit here that I wanted to make sure I pointed out. So this one's about Procter and Gamble. If we can find it here, because this again, that all this came out like these are all emails and stuff. I wonder if you could email Nicole at thearchwell.com. I should try that. Should I try that? I feel like that's not a great idea, but I just find that very interesting that I could try that. So, and the publishers were really interested in this, probably because they were desperate to try to sell the stinking book that they could not sell. They could not offload it at all. And it said the publicist for the publisher said, my team is looking to all the things, carpet, cushions, decor, etc. More to come. And I'm sure they're annoyed too. Meghan Markle read this book and it didn't go anywhere. And they're still wanting to sell that book. And like, what, they can't do anything with that. They can't do anything with that. And so, and again, Harry and Meghan are inviting themselves to this. So I hope to goodness that the publisher covered the cost of this. But at the same time, what did the publisher get out of this? Nothing. The publisher got diddly squat. This is just insane. And so, and I think too, we can see as well, and I wish I had mentioned this in the video, but I kind of forgot, is that, so one of their team members said, Wholeness says, I like all your edits except for the bench section. If you take out all the info about the book, I think it's weird only to have her bio and not his, apparently referring to Harry. And so this again, I think exemplifies this fact that Meghan Markle was desperate to promote herself at the expense of Harry. Harry could go, jump in a creek or something. She didn't care. All she wanted was, how do I promote myself here? How do I promote myself? And the whole team is about that same thing. How do we promote Meghan Markle? We don't really want to promote Harry. We need to promote Meghan. This is all about Meghan looking good, not her and Harry, just Meghan. So that is very interesting to consider as well. And then, okay, so here's this bit with Procter and Gamble. So They amended quite a few things within their press releases and stuff to make Harry and Meghan look better than they are. So it says a news release from the publisher was amended to say Archewell worked with Procter and Gamble to provide free personal hygiene, health and hygiene products for the school rather than just the consumer products giant providing the items. Now, again, this happens, but it just feels like, again, Harry and Meghan trying to do a bait and switch, telling people they're doing something when they're not actually doing anything. They don't ever put their money where their mouth is. They don't ever actually donate their own money, their own resources to something. They want to take credit for what somebody else is doing and then stamp their name on it. And that's what Harry and Meghan are doing here. And so I just think that's rather reprehensible of them to do so many times, because it just, again, yes, PR requires some finessing of things and stuff like that, but I feel like so much it just ends up starting to borderline on lying. You're borderlining too much on lying rather than being truthful here. And so we have this another thing. So a representative from Pang and Random House appears to have changed a line in their own press release saying Meghan was donating reading nooks to 5 schools in New York, replacing 5 with many to make it seem like a larger number. Again, so Meghan donated 5. What's wrong with 5? 5's nice. But no, she has to go with many, or her team does. And again, everything stems from Harry and Meghan. So even if it's their team doing it and they're like, oh, well, it's just our team, it's not us. I'm like, oh, BS. You are completely and 100% behind your team here. You're doing it because you want to do this. You are pushing this. That's why you have your team knows to do this, because this is what you want. So they went from 5 to many to make it look like, again, that they're donating more money than they are. And so, and they also wanted friendly left-wing outlets like the Huffington Post, New York Magazine, which later did a profile on Meghan, the New York Times, and Oprah Daily. They were also super excited that Vogue might come. They were super excited. And I think most people at this point, like, who reads Vogue anymore? I don't. I used to have a subscription, I think, but who cares about Vogue anymore? Once they put Kim Kardashian on the cover, like, that spelled the end of Vogue. That really did. And so, again, it's like, yes, I understand that the publications you don't like from the UK, you don't prefer them, you think they're mean to you. But I also think it looks really bad when you're denying access to things, because this is what's happening as well, is that, just one flag, under no circumstances should we let the folks in from the 4 UK tabloids, Daily Mail, Sun, Mirror, and Express. Thanks. So none of those people could attend and share information about the event. And they might have had good information to share. Their information might have been good, but do we know that? No, because Harry and Meghan prevented them from coming for the sole reason that Meghan didn't want to hear any negative press about what she was doing. And again, I just feel like that reeks of control issues and so many things. And if you're watching this video down here, oh my gosh, her inability to follow royal protocol here is ridiculous. If you notice it, she's going in and greeting the people first. She should never be doing that. That should always be Harry. This was when they were in Australia, New Zealand. Should always be Harry. He is the prince. She is not. They're only there because of him, not her. But she really thinks everybody's there because of her. It's amazing. It's amazing. And if you guys have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to let them know. But I will continue. I click over and look to make sure I'm not missing anything. But I just thought it'd be interesting to go through this article here. Oh, and it also seems like, too, that Harry and Meghan were given protection either by the NYPD or possibly the governor's security team. Harry and Meghan were obviously ushered around like diplomats, which they were not in May, thank goodness, although it may have prevented their whole whiny, terrible car chase thing that they attempted to do. But I think this also screams, too, is like, why were they given diplomatic reception? They're not diplomats. They represent nothing anymore. They only represent themselves. They have no country behind them, no commercial enterprise behind them. They are literally there to promote themselves and to try to make themselves money. That's the sole reason they're there. No other reason, no other purpose. It's just there. And that the New York City decided to give them security for their self-promotional tour is ridiculous. And I wonder too now if they're getting pushback from that. And Harry and Meghan, that was when they were still somewhat respectable. I still didn't think they were, but they thought they were, and meaning Harry and Meghan. And I think they could somewhat claim that, but as time has gone on, that ability has decreased dramatically because we all know they're not talking to their family and Harry's family. We all know that. So what do they represent anymore? I don't know. I don't think anything because they literally have nothing to represent. So except for themselves. And that again, once again, puts a bad taste in people's mouths. It's generally not a great idea to do everything that's self-promoting. Not the best idea. So again, it just looks really rather terrible here for Harry and Meghan. And it's very interesting. And so 666 stepped down as working Braille's, and we had to go along too with talking about how the Home Office pulled their security, but they did because they don't represent anything anymore. And so let's see. So they did not. So this is interesting. So the Daily Mail reached out. The NYPD and the Department of Education did not respond to a request for comment. A spokesperson for Adams said that they could not speak for the previous administration. So that's quite key. They're like, yeah, no, we don't want to step in this beehive, this landmine. And Archwell said that it followed standard practice when it came to an NDA. No, it didn't. Because I think, again, what was the purpose of the non-disclosure except for to protect yourselves? And yes, I understand protecting the filming so that they don't share anything, but you're particularly, I'd have to look at the language again, but if you're particularly telling them they can't have any negative comments about you, that's not a standard NDA. I feel like that's more of a standard. I don't want anybody to say anything mean about me or things I think are mean. And so Tanya says you are exactly right about Meghan. I long suspected she married into the royal family with her own agenda, and when that failed to materialize, she dubiously placed the race card. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that, although she did play that card pretty much from the jump. For sure. I think she definitely did because that was all she had. And so she's like, well, I'll just play this card and make everybody. And again, it made the media very gun shy around Harry and Meghan for a long time. So I imagine they heard quite a few stories before we started hearing stories. But yeah, especially when it came to her time in the royal family, yes, she played that card initially, but I think she was willing to somewhat let it go. But when things really didn't go her way and she was forced to step out, then she had to play it with Oprah Winfrey. And I just don't think that's worked. I don't think it's people have reacted well to that because it feels fake. It feels forced, especially as time goes on. And again, she also, in that reality TV show that they did, she constantly talked about the Commonwealth. Like they constantly did. It was weird. I'm like, why are they doing this? And then it didn't dawn on me until later is that they're still trying to pitch her as Queen of the Commonwealth. They're still trying to pitch that, which is insane to me. All right, Chris. Hi, Chris. I hope you're doing well over there in Sweden. The audacity of their actions, especially when they're not even attempts at charitable actions any longer. Yeah, I mean, this is not charity. They're doing it as a performance to promote themselves. That's what this is. And I just think that's so unbelievably tacky. And I think there's two sides to the coin because I think I heard somebody talking about this and I can't remember exactly where, but talking about how, yes, if you're charitable, you can encourage other people to be charitable. But I also think there's something too to doing charity because you feel led to and not making it a performance you put on social media to get clicks and likes and comments and kudos and everything like that. Because I feel like there is a lot of that too in our culture. And yes, if we do something, it encourages other people to do something too. But I think at the same time as well, it's also really good to do something because you feel led to, and not just for self-promotion. Because basically, essentially what Harry or Meghan are doing, or somebody where you see them all the time, every time they give a homeless guy $5, they have to post about it on Facebook. And it's like, well, are you giving him the $5 because you really want to give the $5 you feel led to? Or are you giving the $5 because you want the kudos on Facebook? Yes, the guy is still getting the $5, but where is your heart in the matter? I think that does matter. I think that really does. And I think Harry and Meghan, again, it's all about Harry and particularly Meghan. Everything is about Meghan. We even see this here in the little video going in the corner. She's greeting people first at the military ball. He's the soldier. He's the soldier. He's the Captain General of the Royal Marines or whatever title he had at that time. And she's introducing herself first. I mean, to me, it just showed such a horrendous lack of respect for him. Like, she doesn't respect him at all. Like, no doubt. She has zero respect for him and his position. Zero respect. Everything about her is a way to promote herself, and he is just the willing lapdog. I mean, because even there, I think he's taking things out of her seat for her. Like, is she not an adult who can take things out of her own seat? I think she's an adult. And obviously, as well, people have said about the red and stuff and how you shouldn't wear red to military things. That I cannot comment on because I don't know the intricacies. I would just have to go about what other people say, but I still think that is, again, just exemplifies their dynamic, which is it's all about her. She's thinking they're all clapping for her. It's all about clapping for her, not really him, because he doesn't matter. It's all about clapping for her. All right. Hi, fam. How are you doing? I'm so glad you guys were able to jump on this last minute. Next time we will have obviously more time to review this or to post about it before, but with the travel and trying to get a little bit of some things done this last day, I went to go see the Eiffel Tower because I felt like, even though I've seen the Eiffel Tower many times, it was like an important thing to do as somebody in Paris. I feel like it's weird. Yeah, Mama Otter, real philanthropy is not self-promotion. Exactly. Real philanthropy is about helping people and doing it because you feel led to, and just because you should not make it performative. And that's all that Harry and Meghan do. And so we have a great counterexample here with Catherine recently at a special needs center. They were working on some sort of sensory perception thing, which some children can struggle with. And so it's the National Portage Association, a council-run home visiting service for children from birth to preschool age across England and Wales that provides trained practitioners to help with their development. So I think that is a fantastic opportunity, and I love Catherine's blazer here. Although I wish, just like, it's funny, Catherine's gone from extreme. She used to wear coat dresses all the time, and now all of a sudden it's suits all the time. So it would be fun if she mixed it up just a smidge more. All right, smile, have a good time at work, and we won't be on here too much longer, guys, because I want to get editing on a video I have, and then I'm flying out actually tomorrow morning, in case you missed that. So I think she looks lovely here, and I love the bun. And I want to say too, because people have made comments, I guess, about, like Catherine taking inspiration from Meghan, because Meghan would do messy buns. This is not a messy bun. This is a very well constructed. You could tell too, she has a lot of hair and her hair is thick. You can tell that there's a lot. And yes, it's not like perfection, but it's like appropriate. It is like, looks good and I think lovely. And I love that it's a different way. And I like how she's trying to have a bit more fun with her long bangs here. I think that's awesome. I will say I've not liked all of her hair like styling with these recent bangs. I haven't liked them all, but I have liked some of them. So I just think this is a really sweet side, and it's nice to see her with other children. I think she has a lot of fun here, and love it. She had flat shoes on today. This was a very appropriate outfit for the event she was at, especially being on the floor with the kiddos and everything. So yeah, so definitely no dress here would have worked. Chris says, say hi to Miss Pippa. I will. I can't wait to see her. She has been very well cared for. I can't wait to give her some hugs and cuddles and kisses. She may give me the silent treatment though. She has done that. Like any preteen. We picked her up from a dog boarding place, and she had been there like a night or two, like not long at all. And she had been with my sister's dog, my parents' dog. So she wasn't alone. But when we went to Panera to get like a breakfast sandwich, because we were driving back home, she literally went over into my sister's lap. And my sister's like, I don't know what's going on here. And I'm like, she's giving me the silent treatment because she's mad at me. So she may be mad at me. Hopefully not, because she's been at home and she's been mostly with her normal routine and her bed and everything. she actually gets to sleep on a comforter on the floor. So I'm very excited to see her. So thank you, Chris. I will let her know you said hi. And actually funny, because Chris is in Sweden, I actually purchased dog treats in Paris that were from Sweden. So we'll see if she likes those. They did stink though. So I put them in my bag and they started to stink. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll keep people from pickpocketing my bag. Mama Otter says, not quite related, but what about Sarah Burton leaning McQueen? Will Kate follow? That's an interesting question. Actually, great question. Because I did see, so interesting. When I went to the Eiffel Tower today, apparently Yves Saint Laurent is doing a show underneath the Eiffel Tower because I saw them constructing it. And then there was another place where they were clearly setting people up for a little fashion show. I imagine it was a small fashion house because it wasn't a big place at all. It'll be interesting to see if she does follow Sarah, especially if Sarah establishes her own brand. That could be interesting because I think there is a really close relationship between Catherine and Sarah, because Catherine, obviously, when Charlotte's dress arrived and it was uneven and everything, Catherine called Sarah. Catherine called or texted Sarah, says, oh my gosh, what do I do? My daughter's dress doesn't fit. And Sarah told her, well, the dress probably needs to be remade. And Catherine talked to Givenchy, Catherine talked to Meghan, and Meghan was like, I'll just go to the tailor. Who cares? That was Meghan's reaction. But yeah, interesting to see if Catherine will follow the McQueen ousting or not. Obviously, that does change the dynamic of the brand in a lot of ways. And with the close relationship, she may stay or she may not. I mean, obviously, it's still an English brand, but if let's say Sarah does establish her own brand, imagine Catherine will be one of the first customers. Because I imagine it was Sarah who was probably behind the suits Catherine's been wearing from Alexander McQueen. I could be totally wrong there, but I would imagine it's her. And has helped Catherine create some fantastic and amazing looks. So it might be something where maybe she even is basically on retainer for Catherine, and she'll make custom things for Catherine when Catherine needs them. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes and what Sarah ends up doing. I don't think anybody has any idea. And Sarah Burton will be here in Paris to do her last show, I believe. And it would be interesting to see maybe if Catherine showed up. Wouldn't that be interesting? Like I felt, I was so conflicted because I wanted to go down to see the Dior, like I couldn't see it, but go to the entrance of the Dior show. But I think that would have been a wasted effort because Beatrice Borromeo was there. A lot of celebrities were there. And apparently they were doing something at the Louvre last night. And so they had like Lisa Eldridge, who's one of my favorite makeup artists because she does like normal, natural looks and helps you like do makeup. And like, Penelope Cruz, a bunch of people were down there. So it's like, oh, that would have been cool to see too. But I missed it. And honestly, my feet hurt at this point. I'm just tired. Joanne Fisher says, love that Catherine got down on the floor for the children to interact with them. So special. It was. I think it's wonderful to see Catherine interacting with these children and parents and helping them learn and getting to get this inside track in terms of, what children with special needs need, because their needs are different, but they can be very successful in classrooms and everything, but sometimes they need just that a little additional support. My sister's a teacher, so she's had children with special needs in her classrooms, and it's something that offers a bit of challenge, but it's a great opportunity for other children as well to learn compassion and how to interact with somebody who's different than you. And so I thought these pictures were especially sweet. So it looks like they had a lot of fun today. So many things, and just interacting with parents and families. And again, I think the hair was good here because then it sort of wasn't in her face and it wasn't like super long. And so she could move a lot better. And I do love the interest. And I love that she is moving to pantsuits, and yet at the same time, I still miss the dresses, man. I miss the dresses because I love dresses. I'm a dress girl. So I'm like, I don't mind. I like the blazers and suits, but I'm like, oh man, sometimes it'd be great if she went back to dresses every once in a while. Sorry, my voice is drying out. So yeah, we had some great pictures of Catherine today. And there was an interesting thread as well. I don't know if you saw on Twitter talking about how sometimes the royals aren't good about giving the reporters advance notice of their appearance at places, which I kind of get, Or like Edward, they're like, well, somebody asked, why aren't you following Edward in Turkey? And the press is like, well, we really didn't know until he was there, so we can't do anything. Or we didn't know until the last minute, and you can't adjust everything. So I thought that was rather interesting to hear them talking about and wondering. Obviously, they need to keep a lid on things as well, and you can't let people know too much. But it could be interesting to be more communicative on the royal side. That would be interesting. And I did see this out of the corner of my eye. And so Catherine may not join William in Singapore for the Earthshot Prize. I thought that's rather interesting. If she does decide to do that, because maybe she doesn't want to disrupt the kids' schedule and stuff. So that has been something I'm like, ooh, because I was thinking of going to Singapore. I think I pretty much decided not to because there was another opportunity that arose in October. And so that would require a couple of days away. And so I think that makes more sense than jumping. But yeah, it was very interesting that she might not go. And I think that would change the attention on it because I think because people are interested in the fashion. I know some people are like, well, don't talk about the fashion, talk about the work they're doing. It's like, yeah, but part of the interest is the fashion with royal ladies. That's why they get more attention than the men generally. So her fashion will, to a certain extent, drive things. And so it would be interesting to see if she didn't attend. Obviously, it's a long trip. It's right around the opening of Parliament or the parliamentary session, where the king or the queen usually gives a speech. We also have this upcoming state visit from South Korea. So there's a lot of things going on in November. So it may be a decision that she decides not to go. And I think, again, Catherine and William may do, fingers crossed, I hope, a big tour of Australia and New Zealand next year with the kids. I think that would be awesome. Okay, so Catherine says, any thoughts on the S&P keeping Princess Anne waiting for 40 minutes? So I haven't heard too much about that, but if that's true, that is rather tacky. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know why that happened. I'm not sure why, but yeah, it is generally not appropriate to keep people waiting. I am not always great on time though, so I will have kept you guys waiting a minute or two. So I do apologize. It took me a second because my computer had connected to, because I stay at a particular hotel chain, and it took my computer a minute to connect to this new Wi-Fi because it was using my old Wi-Fi information because it's the same, Wi-Fi name or whatever. So it was kind of confusing, but it's not great to keep people waiting, especially Princess Anne. I think, again, it shows a little disrespect for her role. Yes, she's not the queen. Yes, she is far down the line of succession, but nobody works harder than the British monarchy than Anne. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows Anne is the workhorse of the British royal family. She is the workhorse. If Anne wasn't working, nobody would do anything. Nobody would do anything. Not really, but she is the one who goes to all those small engagements that maybe most of the other royals don't go to, and she, I think, engages people quite a bit. And her story about almost getting kidnapped, I don't think anybody could tell that better than her, with the dry wit. And the scariest moment being when part of her dress ripped and he may be able to see the back of her dress, or maybe even her behind or bra or something, and she's like, well, that was the scariest moment for him the whole night. Love Anne. So yeah, I haven't heard of that, but if that was true, definitely in poor form there. Daily Mail. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have it here on the Daily Mail. So guys, unless you have any other questions here, we will go ahead and wrap this up. I know this is shorter than what we usually do. We'll usually keep it to about an hour, but because I have a flight tomorrow, I wanted to go ahead and hopefully maybe get this other video edited and uploaded and everything. And I obviously want to get a decent night's sleep. So that way maybe I'll be focused for schoolwork on the plane. We'll see. So we will go ahead and wrap this up for this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe we'll do this format for a lot of our live streams. If you like it, let me know, because this was kind of fun to go over just the articles and click on random articles that we saw, because I think that kind of adds I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because I've been thinking about doing that before, kind of having some things set up and let's go in like, okay, well, let's talk about this one and this one. So we have one quick question from Erica. Do you think that Catherine's wearing so many pantsuits since the Queen was not a fan of them? She might. That's totally entirely possible. Yeah. now that I think about it, there weren't a ton of pantsuits in the British monarchy. We saw them a lot. Crown Princess Mary wears them quite a bit. Victoria wears them quite a bit as well. Queen Letizia rocks them amazingly well, since she is, I feel like, perfect for that. And so, yeah, a lot of royal ladies wore them, but if they weren't a fan of the queens, I can see how Catherine might be going to the opposite, because it's like, yes, I can wear pants. But I am a fan of dresses. I'm wearing a dress right now, so I'm always team dress. I'm always team dress. I actually wish I'd brought a lot more dresses on this trip. Ended up being a lot hotter than I was anticipating. I was really looking forward to some cooler weather. I did get some of that in the UK, but it's actually been fairly warm here in France. I walked around all day today with just my dress on, no jacket or anything, totally fine. And it was blazing saddles hot in Austria and Germany, and obviously it was cool in Sweden too, almost cold. Joanne, safe trip, and thanks for the live stream today. You are so welcome, and we will get on a better schedule here. I'll review again my times, and so we'll get all these scheduled so you guys will know further in advance when they're happening. I won't let you know like usually 24 hours before, just because that'll be easier. But I'm so glad so many of you guys were able to join, and we have Mama Otter too. Have a safe flight. We'll be sending you exciting news in your Instagram DM. All right, awesome. I will be on the lookout for that. So, guys, thank you so much for watching and catching in. And I will see you on the other side of the Atlantic. Bye.